Welcome news for U.S. soybean growers. China has finally come in with a big buy. I'm Clinton Griffiths. Beijing buying at least 14 cargoes of U.S. beans for shipment next month and in January. AgDay's Michelle Rook joins me. Michelle, that's its largest single buying round since at least January.
Right, Clinton. After rumors to start the week, USDA confirmed on Tuesday daily sales of 29 million bushels of U.S. soybeans sold to China. Now, when added to the flash sales USDA reported last Friday, that totals nearly 38 million bushels of China bean buys so far. So it's at least a start to China's 440 million bushel commitment for this year. However, after trade talks last Friday, we're finding out the timetable for those sales may be shifting. China bought more than $12 billion of U.S. soybeans last year, so the market has been focused on China purchases, and they're finally starting to arrive with confirmation of 14 cargoes on Monday, a move that appears to signal a commitment to a trade truce agreed to late last month.
We got the confirmation today of the 792,000 metric ton, which, nice sale. It really helped the market. It's confirmation that China's in and the least they're buying.
However, Bloomberg reported up to 20 cargoes sold to COFCO for delivery in December and January from the Gulf and Pacific Northwest ports. Now, the country would need to book several cargoes a day to meet their 12 million metric ton commitment by January. However, that timetable may be shifting.
Yesterday the administration came out and said that, China's going to come into this maybe a little slower than what was first anticipated.
They're talking about, 12 million metric tons by the end of the season. And that would mean the marketing year. So by the end of August, September 1st. If that's the case, that makes a little bit more sense. They could do that.
The biggest chunk of the China purchases is still likely to come before Brazil's new crop comes to market
by February. So they'll start to take some of the, their sales will start sometime January, February, and for their shipments about a month later. So it would be, prudent that we start getting a little bit busier on getting these sales made. It needed to happen soon.
However, Turner says there's also a chance for a smaller amount of China soybean business later in the season.
But there's also a window in June, July, and August where we can kind of after Brazil's and South America's season where we can see more exports there.
Turner says if China upholds the initial 12 million metric tons and fulfills the 25 million metric tons for next year, it's good for soybean prices.
If that's the case, then forget about blowing through, 11 to 12. It really would be blowing through 12 and 13 to get to 14.
And it's all welcome news to soybean producers.
I know there's been a lot of uncertainty within our soybean market, and announcement of sales is positive. It's another important step past the agreement that was announced a couple weeks ago.
I'm Michelle Rook reporting for AgDay.